Okay, so into the world of video games, and this idea out there, this question, is video game creativity dying? That's what we're looking at today, but we're looking at it because of something that Shawn Layden said.
Right.
Does that name ring a bell?
It should. Former president of Sony Interactive Entertainment America.
Yeah, so not exactly someone who's like, a nobody.
Yeah, not some random blogger.
Yeah.
This is a guy who knows the industry.
Right, exactly. And he's been in the news lately because he's been saying that the video game industry is facing this collapse of creativity.
Yeah, strong words. And it's not just like a throwaway comment either. He wrote a whole article about it.
Yeah, and we've got excerpts from that article right here, right now.
That's right. We're going to break it down.
So should we just get right into it then?
Let's do it.
Okay, so Layden's big argument is that making AAA games today is like insanely expensive. We're talking hundreds of millions of dollars sometimes.
It's crazy. And that's a huge part of the problem, right? Because when you're investing that much money, you become really risk averse.
Yeah, for sure. It's like, imagine you're a studio head. You're not going to gamble with that kind of cash on some, completely out there idea.
Exactly. And Layden uses the example of Fortnite.
Oh, yeah.
Which, let's be honest, was a phenomenon. It made bank.
Oh, yeah. Everybody was playing it.
Right. So now the finance people, they see that and they're like, make me another one of those.
Right. Give me that Fortnite money.
Exactly.
So it's all about chasing those trends.
Yeah. And that's where the safe bet mentality comes in. It's way less about nurturing fresh, groundbreaking ideas and way more about recreating guaranteed success.
Yeah, I'm already tired of some of these franchises.
Right, and that's exactly Layden's point. He's saying this stifles true innovation, and it leads to, you guessed it, the collapse of creativity.
Okay, so that's AAA games. But then he's also worried about what's happening to AA games, right?
Totally. And this is a really important point. AA games, those kind of mid-budget games, they're not quite indie, but they're not mega blockbusters either.
Right. Like they're kind of in between.
Exactly. And they're essential for innovation. They're like the indie bands of the gaming world. You know, they can take more risks.
Because they don't have as much to lose, right?
Exactly. They're not under the same pressure to sell a gazillion copies to break even. They can be more experimental, more daring, and that's where a lot of the really interesting, groundbreaking stuff happens.
Right, yeah. Like What Remains of Edith Finch. That was a really cool, unique game. And I don't think it would have been made if it had to be a huge blockbuster hit.
Probably not. And if that middle ground, that AA space, if that shrinks, the whole industry loses a vital source of creativity.
Right, yeah. It's like what happened to the music industry, kind of, where it seems like, it used to be that record labels would take more chances on artists, but now it's all about like, getting the most streams, and it's the same 5 artists at the top of the charts all the time.
That's a good analogy. And Layden was around before this current landscape. He saw how things used to be.
So what's his take on how things have actually, shifted?
He says it's a shift in priorities. Back in the day, it felt like passion was the driving force. Developers poured their hearts and souls into making games because they loved games.
It was about the art of it, not just the business.
Right. Now, of course, there are tons of passionate devs out there, but the focus on profits, it's huge.
Yeah. I mean, I get it. It's a business.
Of course. But Layden's worried that the pursuit of profit has overshadowed the pursuit of, groundbreaking art in some cases.
It's that classic struggle, art versus commerce, and it's like, how do you find that balance,
Right. And I think that's the question we all need to be thinking about.
Totally. Because it's like, do we want to keep playing the same kinds of games over and over again? Or do we want to see something new and different and exciting?
Exactly. And that's where you, the players, come in.
Oh, yeah.
Because ultimately, you have the power to decide what kind of games get made.
With your wallets, right.
Exactly. If you want more creativity, more innovation, then support the developers who are taking risks. Support those indie games, those AA games that are trying something new.
So I guess what we're really asking is, what kind of gaming future do you want?
It's a good question, and it's one worth thinking about.